The Story of the King and Three Ministers. Once upon a time in the flourishing kingdom of Solaria, there lived a wise and just king named Virendra. His kingdom was admired by neighbors for its prosperity, harmony, and the fairness of its ruler. Yet, King Virendra was troubled by an important question. How could he identify leaders who truly acted in the kingdom's best interests? To test his ministers, he devised an unusual plan. The king summoned his three most trusted ministers, Minister Arjun, Minister Banu, and Minister Chatur. Standing before them, he handed each a large, empty sack made of fine silk. "I have an important task for you," the king said. "Each of you must fill this sack with fruits from the royal orchard. I will inspect them tomorrow morning, and based on your work, I shall decide your future roles in this kingdom. You may go now." The three ministers bowed and left the throne room, pondering over the peculiar assignment. Minister Arjun, the perfectionist. Arjun was a man of integrity, known for his meticulous nature. As soon as he reached the orchard, he carefully examined every tree, choosing only the ripest, juiciest fruits. He climbed branches, scrutinized each piece for blemishes, and ensured his sack was filled with fruits of the highest quality. "This is not merely a task," he thought. "This is a reflection of my character. The king trusts me, and I must honor that trust." The work was slow and exhausting, but by nightfall, Arjun's sack gleamed with perfect fruits. Minister Banu, the opportunist. Banu, on the other hand, thought differently. "Surely the king will not check every single fruit," he mused. "Why waste time picking the best ones?" Banu casually strolled through the orchard, gathering whatever fruits lay within easy reach. Some were fresh, others were overripe, and a few were half-eaten by birds. He filled his sack quickly, satisfied with his efficiency. "What matters is that the sack is full," he said to himself. "Nobody will notice a few bad apples." Minister Chatur, the schemer. Chatur, the most cunning of the three, scoffed at the task altogether. "Why should I exert myself in the orchard?" he thought. "The king will hardly open the sack himself." Instead, Chatur filled his sack with dry leaves, twigs, and stones. He chuckled at his own cleverness. "This sack may look full, but I've spared myself hours of pointless labor. Who will know the difference? The moment of truth." The next morning, the three ministers presented their sacks before the king. The royal court was abuzz with anticipation as King Virendra inspected their work. He opened Arjun's sack first. The vibrant, fragrant fruits dazzled the room. "Excellent work," the king said, smiling. "Your dedication and care are evident." Next, he opened Banu's sack. A mix of fresh and rotten fruits spilled out. The king frowned. "You did not take this task seriously," he remarked. "You have gathered carelessly, without pride in your work." Finally, the king untied Chatur's sack. The leaves and stones tumbled onto the floor. Gasps echoed through the court. The king's face darkened. "You have deceived me, Chatur," he declared. "This sack is a reflection of your actions. You thought you were clever, but in truth, you have betrayed the trust placed in you." The verdict, king. Virendra turned to address the court. "This task was a test, not of labor, but of character. Your actions, no matter how small, define your future." He appointed Arjun as his chief advisor, entrusted with critical decisions for the kingdom. Banu was given a lesser role to reflect on his negligence. Chatur, stripped of his title, was exiled from the court. The lesson. The story of King Virendra and the three ministers spread far and wide, becoming a timeless lesson in integrity. In every corner of the kingdom, people began to say, "Your actions today shape your future tomorrow." And so, Solaria thrived under leaders who understood that even the simplest tasks could reveal the truest measure of a person. Moral: every action you take, no matter how small, reflects your character and determines your destiny.